Hardanger Plateau is situated in central southern Norway. It is the largest of its kind in Europe with a cold year-round alpine climate. The landscape is barren, treeless moorland interrupted by numerous pools, lakes, rivers and streams. I went on a 5-day hike on the plateau in late July. This is my story of the hike. I arrived at the south part of the plateau by bus, and this is where the journey started. The total distance of the route was 93 kilometers or 58 miles. The first day we hiked 12 kilometers, which is 8 miles. Our target for the day was Holmasi, where we would set up camp and make some dinner. The hot meal was very welcome, because the temperature during the night was 0 degrees, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Our second day of hiking would start at Holmasi, go through the Hellevasbu cabin, and end at Simmeltin Lake right before Litlos cabin. The snow from the winter were still present at the plateau, making it difficult to walk. The temperature dropped even more, and I was so happy that I've chosen the wool as my inner layers and that my jacket was isolated for the freezing winds that was blowing across the plateau. Still, the view was breathtaking, making it all worth it. We arrived at Hellevasbu, which is a cabin that is self-serviced. Everyone who has D&T key may have a shelter here. Our campsite was Simmeltin Water. Here, after setting up the tent, I created some Mexican tomato soup with boiled eggs and rice. It really helped against the cold. Our third day was also a long day with hiking for 21 kilometers, which is 13 miles.
Now it's day 3 and we are approaching Lilo's cabin, which is just half a kilometer up here. And there is actually someone working at the cabin, so if you want to have breakfast or dinner, you can actually have it here. They also rent out boats.
The road to Litlos cabin was fenced in, making it easier to herd domestic animals. At our hiking we saw many sheep which are kept for wool and meat. If you want, you can stay at Litlos cabin, or you can just check out the kiosk where you can buy some supplies. A Norwegian tradition when you go to a cabin is to sign in to the cabin book. All cabins and all mountaintops has this book. So what you do is write a greeting and tell about how your hiking has been and where you are planning to go. What you hear in the background is a helicopter that just have dropped some supplies for the cabin. All supplies are brought in by helicopter because of the cabin's remote location. On the menu today was pancakes, one of my favorite outdoor meals.
One of the chef's secret recipes for mountain is to use these small bags to make pancakes. So what you do is actually just prepare the powder at home, and then you can use water from the river to mix with the powder and just use the bag, and then you have pancakes. One thing you really need is like some oil. So I usually just bring along one small bottle of oil to use in a pan. And it's really delicious.
After dinner and some rest, we went back on our hike.
Sometimes when you're hiking, it can be really difficult to find the tracks, and rule number one should be to always know where you are and to follow the tracks. And where we are now at Hardangervidda, there are several beacons that has been placed up, and all of them are marked with a T. So every time you are unsure where you are, you can check your map and also look for the beacons. And if you go off track, you really should go back to where the last beacon was. So up here I will show you one of these beacons. So this is our beacon. This one is not marked with a T, but the next one over here is marked.
Day 3 was coming to an end, and we had to set up camp, make some food, and get a good night rest before the next day. Our fourth day of hiking went through Hadlaskar cabin, which is self-serviced, and our goal was Grotdalen. The fourth day had very challenging river crossings.
So because of all the melting of the ice, we have to cross this river, and there is actually no crossing point. So we have to be a bit creative.
This is my sister, who also came along for the hike. As you can see, our solution to crossing the river was to walk barefoot in the freezing water. It is freezing because the glacier is melting. After walking around 3 kilometers, we had to stop because of a new challenge, the rain.
Finally the rain has passed and we can start moving again, so we just pack up the tent and we'll be ready. And then we're ready to go the last 10 kilometers today, or 12.
Or 14.
Or 14. Then day number 4, and we had to stop after 3 kilometers because of the rain, had to put up camp. So we just made some breakfast or breakfast / lunch, and had to wait for the rain for like 2-3 hours, so we lost a bit of time. But we're gaining now. We're just going real fast, and we're going to go about 10 kilometers before we can have some dinner, and then we just have about 4 kilometers, and we will be in the place that we're going to camp for tomorrow. So everything's good. Now the sun is up, so just go.
Hiking makes you thirsty, so it's important to stay hydrated.
Sure, the greatest water in the world.
Up ahead, we faced more challenges with river crossings.
So from Litlo you will arrive at Hardanger, which is a self-service hut, and if you go further you will come to Hedlo, which has service. So I will just show you now the hut and we will go further. So a few words about the kitchen. It's gas driven, so I have the gas burner and some gas that I put in the foil and bubble wrap, so it protects the flask. To set it up, just connect it and screw it on. And take out the legs here, then just fit it on a flat surface. Give some gas and ignite it. Then it's perfect for boiling water or anything else.
After dinner, we continued our hiking before setting up camp. During the hike, I realized that the nature reminded me of the place I grew up, the cold north of Norway, Tromsø. The animals and the flora were the same. The last day was going to be another day of a long hike. We were going to go past Hedlo, which is a serviced hut, and also we are going to get to our goal, which is Fossli.
Oh, now I got the really sunburn here and the sun is shining, but you should never complain about the sun. I feel great. Last day.
Last day. Woo!
Now we have arrived at Hedlo, which is a cabin that has service. Okay, from Hedlo we are going to go to our final destination, which is Fossli, which has a great waterfall. So let's go inside here and check. So at Hedlo you can actually purchase some supplies. So I got some chocolate and some much needed sunscreen. Don't forget this on your mountain trip.
After Hedlo, we continued our hike. The climate was much greener here, so we decided to stop for some dinner and a rest. During the hike, I used a couple of apps on my phone. To ensure that my phone had enough power, I also used a power bank. Before the trip, I installed the Emergency 113 app, which lets you call emergency services and send your coordinates so that the emergency know where to go and look for you. I used the application ut.no to navigate the mountains, and if you're going to use this application, make sure that you download all maps before you go out, because there is no cellular service on the route. Also remember to bring paper maps and a compass, because you don't know if your phone will endure the cold and the rain and have power all the time. Our hike was about to be finished, so we decided to go some extra kilometers to get a good view of the fjords from Helle Mountain. The last goal of the trip was Vøring Waterfall, which is 182 meters high, that is 597 feet.
So it's been a great hike. We started on Haukeli, Europa Road 134, and ended up here in Fossli. This is domestic road 7, and we have spent 5 days on this journey, and finally we came here to Fossli and this amazing waterfall. I really enjoyed this hike, and if you want to do something similar, we use 5 days. We want about 20 kilometers each day, so that's about using almost all day hiking. We had a tent and sleeping pads and sleeping bag. If you want some more easier, you can stay at the cabins all along. I really recommend you take this hike. But be prepared, the weather can change really fast. As we've seen, we went from rain, a lot of snow, and today a lot of sun. So remember to prepare and have a good journey. Thank you.